direct to unleash the creativity within you. How you doing out there today? I'm just so excited. I just had to tailor-made this message for my listeners out there, the people that follow the messages that I'm giving to you. I got an overwhelming amount of phone calls this week concerning the issue of marriage. Oh God, the issue of marriage. So I decided to give some nuggets, some wisdom nuggets on marriage. And the topic that I came up with is to speak about today is listening to your spouse. Listening to your spouse. You know, the overwhelming factor that I keep hearing from these couples is, oh, this person's trying to rule me, or this person's trying to dominate me, or this person don't listen to what I'm saying to them. And the fact of the matter is, that's the reason why God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, and that's to listen more than we speak. Did you get that? You got 2 ears and 1 mouth, and that's to listen more than we speak. The Bible says, dwell together with knowledge. See, that means you got to study who you with. You got to study your spouse. And you know how to push certain buttons on purpose. See, some of you know how to get your spouse upset on purpose. Some of you know how to say things that's going to make them feel a certain way. You know how to pull those emotions out of them that nobody else can pull. And this is what I said to every couple that I spoke to. I said, now instead of you pressing buttons that you know is going to make them upset, why don't you deliver messages and preach words to them, or press buttons in them that's going to make them feel happy, that's going to give them pleasure, that's going to encourage them, that's going to uplift them, that's going to make them feel good about themselves and good about being with you. You see, no farmer goes to plant a seed in the ground for it to not grow. So every word you speak must be planted in your heart of your spouse to make something grow. You don't want nothing to die when you plant it. So you got to watch the words that you say. I said to my friend, listen, he said, yeah, you know, I go off on my spouse, you know, I curse at her sometimes, you know, I yell at her. And I said to him, now, I'm your friend for 20 plus years, but your wife is more important in your life than I'll ever be, you know? But you never curse at me. You never yell at me. And he said, yeah, that's because you don't get on my nerves like that. I said, yeah, but if you did, then we're going to be arguing back and forth. And I said, but the point of the matter is this. Your spouse deserves the utmost respect. The same way you respect somebody else who's not your spouse, is even greater capacity that you have to respect your spouse. Because guess what? You made a covenant between God and you. There's no getting out of this. There's no getting out of marriage. You got to learn how to work through your issues. Learn how to work through your issues. That's right. Learn how to work through the problems or the challenges that you're facing. And with God, the two of you, there's nothing that you can't overcome. There's nothing that you can't come together with in prayer and through communication and through planning to work through. It's just if you want to do it. And it's if you can get the tools to do it. There's another point that I like to make. As a married couple, you can't expect to just get in a marriage and for it to automatically work out. Just as a carpenter needs tools to build, a mechanic needs tools to fix or work on a car. A doctor needs to go to school to learn how to work on patients, to get the knowledge. When you're married, you still need to read books. You still need to go to marriage seminars. You still need to go to counseling. You still need to go to weekend getaways. You still need to do the little things that you did in the first place to get the spouse. And what happens is many times people get comfortable. They stop doing what they used to do because now they expect something from their spouse. But here's another spiritual principle. With the same measure you give, it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, runneth over. I know many of you only heard that when it comes to giving your tithes and offering or giving something in church monetarily. But it's the same principle of anything. Whatever you give out comes back to you with the same measure you give it. So the principle you want to do is, how about you, instead of nagging to your spouse about cleaning the dishes, how about you run them a bubble bath? Ooh, we setting it off in here. How about you run them a bubble bath? Light some candles. Put on a little Luther Vandross. Luther. Set the atmosphere. And then speak to them in a gentle way about the dishes. See, words are everything. Words are everything. And the ability to listen what your spouse is saying. See, many people not listening, so they're answering the wrong way. See, I'm gonna tell you something. I remember one time I went into a grocery store. Excuse me, I went into a grocery store, and the lady at the register was handling a customer, and the customer was saying how her father just died, and the employee at the register was not even listening to what the customer said and said, "Oh yeah, that's good for you. Your order is your bags come up to $50." And the customer said, "What? That's good for me that my father died?" Like, the person at the register wasn't even listening to what was being said to them. That customer got so mad and said, "You know what?" Went to the supervisor and said, "You know what? I'm never coming back to this store again. Because here I am telling this person here that my father just died, and they saying that's good for me. You lost me, you lost my business, and you lost my money. Now, let's take that in terms of a relationship. How many times is your spouse telling you, "Honey, I need a break. Honey, I want to go on vacation." Or, "Honey, let's save some money so we can start a family." But you are ignoring what they're saying. And when you do that, what do? Is you open doors for other things to come into your marriage. You open doors for other men at the job to sit down and listen to her, because women are emotional. So you open doors for other men to go there and listen to her wants, her needs, her complaints. And all he's doing is listening to her, something that you should do. And she's taking a liking to him because he's feeding off her emotions. Flip side, how many times your husband say to you, he wants to do this or he wants to do that, he wants you to give him this or give him that, but you refuse to. And he leaves out the house and there's women all around him who's willing to give him what it is that you're not giving him. Now, as I previously said, you gotta have self-discipline to fight against these things. Because if you don't, you lose the battle every time. But what I'm trying to get to is, if we would listen to our spouses, then a lot of the arguments and problems that we're facing, we wouldn't have them, right? Because we're listening. See, and a good tool is this. When your spouse says A, B, and C to you, you say, "Honey, did you say A, B, and C, or did you say B and A?" Because if I'm missing what you're saying to you, can you explain it to me again so that I may understand? I don't know about you, but I got to do this constantly because my wife is a thinker. She's sharp and she's always on her toes. And sometimes she thinks about something and she wants to answer right now. I have to say, "Honey, let me think about it and I'll get back to you on it." I can't make a split-second decision because I need a little time to think about it. That's a principle that works for us. Instead of ignoring her because I don't want to deal with it at the moment, I listen to what she's saying, and then I take time to digest it, to think on it, to meditate on it, so I can give a proper answer if it's something that needs more of my time. Because decisions will determine your life. And if you can't make the proper decision to listen to your spouse, then what are you saying about them? Are they valuable to you? You see, something that's valuable to you, you will listen to. Something that's valuable to you, you would take time out to listen to. You'll take time to sit at his feet and glean from. If any of you had a chance to go to your favorite concert, somebody gave you free tickets, or you're gonna show up there early so you can sit close enough, especially if you have front row seats. You're gonna get there early to listen to, you can get in there where you need to get to so you can listen to that musician or that speaker, or go to that store and purchase the item that you want to purchase. Now, what difference is it with your spouse? What, because you see them every day? What, because you feel like they should know your thoughts before you even say it? No, nobody knows what you're saying before you say it. And when you say it, and when they say it to you, the best thing you can do is listen and put into action the thing that they're asking you to do. Yes, this is where the frustration comes in. This is what the phone calls was coming in, is that they're saying something, but their spouse is just not listening to them. And then the frustration mounts. It builds, and it builds. But when we learn to listen to what our spouse is saying, you will ease the pressure in the household, in the house. This is Mike Bowens, signing off. And
All things are possible. All things are possible. If you just believe, if you just believe, all things are possible. All things are possible. If you just believe, if you just believe.
Sending demos is a thing of the past. At a record deal, I laugh, cause God carved my path. Cause wild men reject us, God's love just so infectious. Take us through trials just to bless us. My man sure to encourage the world. Little boys and girls, our future leaders, doctors, preachers, and teachers can do all things through Jesus. Continue to pray and work harder than hard. Don't put your trust in man, but put your trust in God now. Can I rock with you? We're unstoppable. Cause with the Lord, all things are possible.